Good afternoon, everyone. This is attorney Ahmad Yakzan from the American Dream Law Office, here talking to you for our weekly live session. I probably starting the week after next. We're going to be going live probably twice a week instead of once a week. I'll see what my schedule is going to be like, but it'll probably be Monday and Wednesday. So if you guys have any questions, um, you'll have more chances to ask me questions to for your legal needs and everything like that. So as I said, I'm attorney Ahmad Yakzan from the American Dream Law Office. So if you have any questions that are burning questions, please email them to intake@americandreamlawoffice.com, or you can call us at 1-888-963-7326. You can also call us on WhatsApp. The phone number there is 1727-301-9328. So I am going to take some questions. If you are on TikTok, we are like 100 followers away from hitting 10,000 or so. So if you're following us on TikTok, I would really appreciate a follow. Help us get to that 10,000 likes. And I also have a goal today of 1,500 hearts. So if you guys can leave us some hearts on TikTok, I would really appreciate it. And again, we're only like 100 followers or so short from 10,000. I would really appreciate if we can reach that goal today. So if you're seeing us on TikTok, please hit that follow button, and then I would really appreciate it. We have some extra time today. I put some extra time in my schedule to answer extra questions. If you do have a question, please send it to me on a DM. Don't share too many personal things on here. I would really appreciate it if you don't put a lot of facts about your case in here, because I don't want other people to see it. And please understand that what I say today is not construed as legal advice, and you should not take it as legal advice, and it does not create any attorney-client relationship between anyone who's listening and anyone who's going to anyone listening in my office. So usually how you retain me is by signing an agreement with my office to retain me. So again, I will be here for about 45 minutes today. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you have a really personal question, please send it to us either in a DM or to my email address, which is intake@americandreamlawoffice.com. Intake@americandreamlawoffice.com. We have a question about PIP here. What happened with the PIP case last week, as I mentioned, is there is an administrative stay on the case right now, which means that it's not really a stay on the merits of the case. It's just an administrative stay that the court entered without either side asking for it. And usually when the court does that, they do it just for them to study the case and see if they want to issue an injunction or not on the case or not. That administrative stay that we have ends on Friday. So if you're trying to apply for PIP, I would do it as soon as possible, because that way, as I said last week and the week before, you're getting your foot in the door. And you're getting in before the program goes away. So if you can apply for PIP before Friday, I would go ahead and do it. And again, you can hire us to do it. You can hire my office to do it for you. I would be more than happy to help. Again, if you're trying to get in touch with me or my office, you can send us a DM, send us an email at intake@americandreamlawoffice.com, or call us at 888-963-7326 if you're here in the United States. And we'll be more than happy to help you. But if you're thinking about applying for TIP, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it, and get your foot in the door. I don't know what someone said. Go to my trial without my evidence. I don't know what that is, but again, please don't put anything on here that that is related to your case, and don't put a lot of personal information on here. Please send it to me in a DM. Thank you so much. And if you could, if you're watching us on any of the social networks, please feel free to share share the live. I would really appreciate it, guys. And again, we're about 100 followers away from hitting 10,000, and we're hitting we have a goal of 1,500 1,500 hearts today, 1,500 likes on the live. And I see that we don't have any yet. So I would really appreciate if you guys can put some hearts on the board. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to go to my questions. I was deported in 2009. Can I apply for a visitor visa? I have a 10-year ban. So if you're deported from the United States, you can still apply for a green card or for you to come back to the United States. You will have to apply for a 212 waiver for you for a permission to get readmitted into the United States. And depending on what it is that you were deported for, you will have you would need you might have some inadmissibility issues that are not related to just you being deported. So, for example, there are some things that actually could stop you from coming back into the United States for good. So, if you have a trafficking offense or anything like that related to drugs, or you have an aggravated felony in your background, you're going to have a very hard time trying to come back into the United States. You can also apply to reopen your case, reopen your criminal case. If you have a criminal case, get it dismissed and then apply for readmission. You can also reopen the removal proceedings if there is a way to do them and get rid of them before you do it. So there are a lot of ways to do it. Just because you have a removal order doesn't mean that you're never going to come back into the United States. But if you do have an aggravated felony or anything that relates to inadmissibility, like a criminal issue or a drug offense or anything like that, you're going to have an issue applying for any sort of readmission into the United States. So don't do it by yourself. If you're trying, again, hire an attorney to see if you can actually get back into the United States. Hire an attorney to do it, especially if you have a criminal issue. The law changed from 2009. This person that asked the question, the law changed since 2009. So if you have any issues that relate to criminal issues or anything like that, hire an attorney to do your case. Don't do it on your own. The next question is, can I apply for asylum while overseas? I'm from Iraq. There is some sort of misconception. There are some things that you can do if you're a high profile person. I see it in video and movies and stuff like that, where the person goes to the embassy and asks for asylum. Usually that's not really the way to do asylum outside the United States. There is a way to do it, and this person is from Iraq. I do have a lot of friends who came to the United States from Iraq as refugees. So there are some programs that actually allow it. Usually it goes through the International Office of Migration, which actually places you in certain countries, and you have to apply through the International Office of Migration before you're able to actually come to the United States. And that actually takes a very long time for you to come here to the United States. It will actually take some 3 to 4 years or so for you to be able to come to the United States or to the country that they pick for you. But if you are overseas, that's how I would do it. Now, if you come to the United States on a visitor visa, there is nothing stopping you from applying for asylum here in the United States when you come here to the United States. But applying from overseas usually goes through the State Department, and you have to do it through the International Office of Migration and the United Nations before you can come to the United States. So the next question is, I got deported 3 years ago across the border and got married to a U.S. citizen. Can I get my green card? I have no record that I am here. Unfortunately, for the person who asked the question, there is something called a permanent bar, which says that if you were here in the United States, you got deported and you came back into the United States, you are going to be permanently barred from applying for a green card in the United States. Usually that means that 10 years, or if it's a permanent bar, it's for good, for forever. Now, there are some ways around it, especially if there were some problems, of course, with the prior removal order. Or so I've done these to where we were able to actually reopen and dismiss the prior removal order for us to take away the permanent bar. But they're very tricky. But the person didn't actually mention anything about their case. If you are subject to the permanent bar, it's going to be a long process, and it's going to be a hard process to actually get it done. But it's actually doable. So if you do have a permanent bar, call my office. Again, as I said, call my office. Our number is 888-963-7326. Or you can actually call the office or email us at intake@americandream.law, and we'll be able to schedule you to speak to me if you have a complicated case like this. So if you have any questions regarding that, my staff speaks Spanish and Arabic. So if you have any, and if you speak any other languages, we'll be able to accommodate you. But call us and schedule an appointment, and I'll be more than happy to speak to you guys. All right. So the next question I have is, I want to become a U.S. citizen, but I don't speak English. Is there a waiver exception for this? There are actually a lot of waivers and exceptions that you can use for you to get out, do away. Do away with the requirements. Usually there are two or three exceptions to the English requirement. The first one is if you're 50 years old and you've been here for more than 20 years on a green card, or if you're 55 years old and you've been on a green card for 15 years. Usually they waive the English requirement for you. The third one is if you have some mental or physical issues that stop you from retaining information. That would be a third way to do it. And I do these every single day, guys. And then you'll be able to do, in all three cases, you'll be able to do the interview in your own native language, and you'll be able to actually get your citizenship that way. You'll have a translator to translate for you during the interview. So if you've been a permanent resident for a very long time and you want to apply for citizenship and you don't speak English, please call us. As I said, we do have the doctors and everybody to actually help you through this. So if you are a permanent resident applying for citizenship and you don't speak English, please let us know, and I will be more than happy to help you. Again, the number is 888-963-7326. We got a question. If we do VAWA cases for people with pending I-130 and I-485s, I actually do those cases, and I've done them a million times before. Especially if for people who don't know what a VAWA what a VAWA is. A VAWA stands for Violence Against Women, a Violence Against Women Act, and it's not only for women. Usually, the law was actually introduced in the 1990s, and the law was introduced because a lot of people who are U.S. citizens believe that people will get their green card and their spouses would leave them. So they issued this law to allow people who are here in the United States to be able to apply for their own green card without their petitioner knowing about the green card being filed. And that's what VAWA is. So it allows you to apply for your own green card. Now, what's abuse? Simply, a hit on the hand or something like that usually is enough. Usually is good if you have a police report, something like that. If you have documented proof that the person does not want to apply for your green card, or they went with you to the interview and they said something against you, something like that, or they took your money, so there are a lot of ways to prove the abuse. If you actually are able to prove any of that, you can apply for VAWA. Again, as I said, please guys, don't put a lot of personal questions on the live, because I do not want to answer personal questions. Leave them as general as possible. And if you have personal questions, either send them to me in a DM or call my office at 888-963-7326, and I will be able to answer your questions when it's one-to-one. Please don't leave any questions that are specific to your case on here, because I don't want you to say anything that might harm you. Thank you so much. All right. The next question is: I got deported from the U.S. 14 years ago. I applied for a visa and they reject the application. Do I need to file for a waiver? As I mentioned earlier, yes, you do need to file for a waiver. It's usually a 212 waiver, and depending on what kind of inadmissibility issues that you have, you will need to know which waiver that you have. And if you're applying for an immigrant visa or a non-immigrant visa, it will also depend which application you use. So if you call us, I will be more than happy to discuss those. As I said earlier, if some grounds for inadmissibility are a little harder to overcome than others. So if you have anything that has to do with a criminal issue or anything like that, I wouldn't apply for the waiver on my own. I would try to do it with an attorney. The next the next question that I have is: what are the reasons they get detained by ICE? I represent a lot of people in removal proceedings, and there are a couple of ways to actually be stopped by ICE. The most common one is for you to have been arrested in the United States, arrested, and you're not a U.S. citizen. So what happens? A lot of municipalities in the United States have what's called the 222G agreements with ICE, meaning that if they get someone who's arrested and they're not a U.S. citizen, they have an agreement with ICE to inform them regarding the arrest of the person who is not a U.S. citizen. And then what ICE will do, they will get 3 days for them to decide whether they want to detain you or take you to removal proceedings or not. Usually, if you're not a priority for detention, meaning that you don't have anything that's like an aggravated felony, or you robbed the bank or anything like that, usually you're not a priority for deportation, and they will let you go after 3 days. But if you do have something very serious, usually ICE will actually detain you. So the first way to do it is to get arrested. The second way to do it, if you actually are under an order of supervision by ICE and you don't show up to a check-in, they can actually come and get you, or you go check-in after you missed one of your check-in days. They can actually arrest you for that. So these are the ways to get arrested by us. I've represented people that actually had a relative who had a criminal issue and then ended up getting arrested for that, and they were undocumented, and they found the relative after they served an administrative warrant to go to immigrate to administrative warrant to find the person in an apartment at an address, and they found someone who's undocumented, and they ended up arrested and being in removal proceedings that way. So there are a lot of ways to do it, to get arrested by ICE. My biggest advice that you should take from today: please, if you don't have any papers, try your best not to get arrested. If you're a green card holder, try your best not to get arrested, because if you do get arrested and on something very big, you will end up getting removed, even if you are a green card holder. Green card is temporary, is not a full thing. They can have represented a lot of people whose green cards got taken away. Please don't get arrested if you have a green card. If you're not a United States citizen, don't get arrested. Do everything possible not to get arrested, please. Okay. So the next question that I have is, we got a question, someone from California saying, can I enroll my kids to in school if you have an asylum pending? That I cannot answer that question. It's going to depend on California law. You should hire someone or speak to someone in California to be able to help you, because I can't answer anything that has to do with California law. So if you're asking me a question about other than DC, other than immigration, or anything that has to be to do with DC law or Florida law, I can't answer it, unfortunately. But if you're in California, speak to an education lawyer in California to be able to help you. All right. Next question. What can I do after my green card got delivered to my old address? It is in another state? Okay, so we get these questions, and unfortunately, um, immigration is not that good about changing addresses, and we do a lot of things we send G28s all the time to update, um, for update our addresses, and the government is not good at actually doing the change of addresses, and we do them several times. Sometimes even the court doesn't do them that efficiently. So if you are a green card holder, or if someone applied for a green card, please make sure that you update your address with immigration. There is an online form that you can use to actually change the address. Do that every single time you move. So please do that. Don't ignore that if you move. And my hunch is that this person moved, and who asked the question moved, and didn't tell immigration that they moved. Go online and change your address, and usually if you do it online, they're actually pretty good at changing your address. That's number one. Number two, if any of your documents get delivered to the wrong address, you need to submit what's called an e-request. It's uscis.gov/e-request, and you can actually submit a request telling them that you moved and they delivered it somewhere else, and usually they will resend it to you if you give them the address where they're supposed to ship it. So do that, and if you can't, give me a call, give my office a call, and we will be able to probably help you get your green card. All right. Next question. I've been in America since February and benefited from Biden's 18-month deportation ban for Palestinians. 2 days ago, I received the work authorization. I'm thinking of starting a business and opening a store with a partner who's a U.S. citizen. Can I use this to get a green card, or is there any other way? Knowing that I have an I-130 application submitted by my mother since 2013. Let's do the I-130 from 2013 from your mom should be coming up soon. If she's a United States citizen, the number for that should be coming up soon. The issue is going to be that I don't know if the person has status in the United States or not. Usually, if you don't have status in the United States, you cannot become a permanent resident if you're not an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen. So that's gonna be the biggest impediment for this person. And usually you cannot change your status from one category to another if you don't have status in the United States. So you can't change from one status to the other. So this person is going to open a business. You're more than welcome to open. I represent a lot of undocumented people who own businesses. There's nothing in the United States stopping you from opening a business and working in a business or anything like that, without, or owning a business without documents. I represent a lot of people that do that. The only thing that you're going to run into is you're going to have to file taxes and all of that stuff. But even if you get a labor certification through that business, you will have a problem getting a green card. So please, before opening a business or anything like that, speak to an immigration attorney, especially if you're opening the business to get an immigration benefit from it. Speak to an attorney before you do anything. We got a question on TikTok. Husband lost his green card. Can we apply for his passport with his naturalization? I'm sorry, I'm a little confused about the question, but if you're saying that your husband lost his green card, can we apply for citizenship? Absolutely. It does depend on the locality. I do it all the time. Usually, it's easier and cheaper to do the green card, that application that way, so you don't actually have to pay two fees to apply for the green card and apply for your citizenship. Usually I would do one or the other. Usually I'll apply for the citizenship instead of applying for the I-90 to get the new green card. That's what I usually would do. So that's what I would do if I were you, is apply for the naturalization case. Now, you can't get a U.S. passport without. Actually, before I say this, there was a directive from USCIS saying that they're going to allow you to apply for your citizenship even if you have a lost green card. You shouldn't do both of them. So you should be able to do that. If you are in the same situation, just go ahead and apply for the naturalization. Again, this is not legal advice, guys. I don't know if you're able to apply for the naturalization or not. I don't know if you have any reasons, other reasons why not to get your citizenship. But again, this is not legal advice, and this doesn't create an attorney-client privilege. Please call my office if you have any questions, or if you want to hire me, call my office. The number is 888-963-7326. All right, the next question. I have a green card interview in 20 days, and my American wife refuses to come with me. Is there a solution? I spoke to you guys about VAWA earlier. I think this will probably be a very good VAWA case, especially if it's documented that the person does not want to go with you. It depends on in what kind of bona fides you have with the person, but this might actually be a very good case for a VAWA case. So if she doesn't want to go with you to the interview, applying for VAWA might actually be a very good thing. And if you have an I-485 and an I-130 pending already, we might be able to preserve the I-485, so you don't have to pay for it again when you get your VAWA approved. So if you're in that same situation, let me know and I'll be more than happy to help. All right, next question. My husband has citizenship and I have a green card. I've completed 8 out of 10 years with it. How can I get citizenship without taking the test, as I don't speak English? Guys, this is the same answer that I gave earlier. There are 3 exceptions that you can use if you cannot speak English. 2 of them is a 55-15 and 50-20. And the third one is if you have PTSD or some sort of physical disability that allows you to get out of the English exam, you can use one of these to actually do them. And I do them regularly for people. So if you have a question, regarding those, please give me a call or send us an email or a DM, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. I'm going to answer one more question here. The person who just asked about PIP and a DUI, this is, I mean, I don't see DUI being an issue. The problem is that PIP is highly discretionary, and the government might look at the fact that someone has a DUI and when they're undocumented, and they might count it against them. But it's not a deportable offense or anything, so they should be okay. But just put a lot of documents that supports the case. And again, guys, this is not legal advice. Again, if you're trying to get in touch with me, call me. The number is 888-963-7326, or you can call us on WhatsApp at 727-3019-328. Send us an email at intake@americandreamlawoffice.com. If you have any questions, or if you would like to set up a consultation with me, call my office or go to americandreamlawoffice.com, and you'll be able to schedule a consultation with me to speak to me. Thank you guys so much. I just finished my questions, and thank you guys so much for following me and speaking to me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you 2 weeks from now. Take care.